So from today, we will start React.js. React.js. What is React.js? When you say React, we would be talking about a front-end library, front-end management library, which can build a lot of things, mobile apps and web apps, many things. So when you talk about the React is completely related to the front end. So once we learn the React, our front end ends. And I'm going to combine, after a few days, I'm going to start writing the Tailwind CSS into the React. Well, it's a CSS framework. React has nothing to do with the Tailwind, or React has nothing to do with the CSS. Then what is React? You can say, what is React? Can anyone tell me? Hello?
I don't know. I only know that it is in content.
Say that again.
I don't know what is that. It's in content only.
Correct. So when you talk about React, it's a front end. That's absolutely correct. But whenever you say, I am developing the React applications, means what exactly you're doing? You are dealing with few terms, or you are working with few terms called as components, right? JSX, components, JSX, these are two very important things. And React is all about JavaScript. If you are good at JavaScript, that will go extremely easy to you. Okay, how do we create the React project? Well, this is our MERN-stack batch only, right? This is our MERN-stack batch only. And into the MERN-stack, we are understanding the React. Okay, now I'm thinking to change the thumbnail, but I will take the decision later on. Okay, today what I want to show you, today we will not discuss much about React, but I wanted to show you what React is exactly. Tomorrow we will start working in detail, right? If you click on the learn over here, a lot of things are there, right? So all these things we will see. Go to the installation, right? This is the installation page. How to start the new React project, right? How to start the new React project. There are a lot of things. Can you see? So they are saying that don't, they are saying that you need to use, we'll talk about this tomorrow, but you are familiar with something called as wit, right? Hello, you're familiar with something called as what? Wit. Yes or no? You are familiar with something called as wit. Now what we can do, let's use wit over here. What we can do, let's use wit in our application to create the React project. Okay, let us see now. So if you see this line, if your app is unusual constraints, not served well by these frameworks, or you prefer to solve these problem yourself, you can roll your custom setup with the React. Grab the React DOM from the npm, set up your custom build process with the bundler like Wit and Parcel, and add other tools. So we are going to use Wit because presently you know Wit. What is a Parcel we will see later on. So let's open file, open project, our desktop, and merge stack. So we have reached to the React over here. Okay, we have completed more than 80 days. So I will consider it as day 90. 10 days for this BCM project, day 90. And in here, I want to create hello React. Now let's go to the terminal, day 90, cd hello React. Now tell me the Wit command, how to create the Wit project. Do you remember we have used the Wit? Hello? Can you see here we can create over here the React app. npm create Wit and npm create Wit at the latest. So here we can say npm create Wit latest. A project name, here we can say hello React. Can you see which framework I want to use the React? A plain JavaScript. I will select this, hit the enter. Okay, I think just revealing it in a finder. Let me delete this folder, and first let me switch nvm use 18. And cd new folder, hello React, and let me go to this folder, cd day 90, nvm use 18, and Wit, here you can say just paste the command, npm create Wit latest. Here we can say hello React. Today I'm not going to explain anything, or whatever required things I would be explaining. Tomorrow we will see in detail. Select the JavaScript. First select the React, then select the JavaScript. And in here, if you see, and in here, some things have been created. You see that there is a public, then there is a src, ESLint src, CJS, index HTML, witconfig.js, some configuration files. And under the src, you will find assets, then app.jsx, something like this. Okay, then main.jsx, something like this. Now, how do you run the Wit project? How do you run the Wit project? Can you see npm run dev, npm install, npm run dev? So there is no node modules folder over here. So we need to go to the hello React. Then you can say npm install. It will install the required dependencies. It will install what? Required dependencies. Dependencies have been installed. Now npm run dev. Now server is running on localhost 5173. You can go here. localhost 5173, hit the enter, and can you see this something like this, wit and react, and if you click on the count, can you see counter is getting increased. And here if you can see few files it has created. It has created few files. First, remember the project structure, wit-config.js, package.json. What is package.json? We have studied, correct? What is package.json? Can you tell me? What is package.json? Am I audible? Hello? What is package.json? Am I audible or not? What do you mean by this package.json? So when you say package.json, which says that this is the node project. We have seen what do you mean by node project. Node project is that thing. Node is, we are not exactly using node over here. We are using node as a helper utility. Node will help you in developing the projects. It has nothing to do with the front end. Right, if you see dependencies, there are only two dependencies, React and React DOM. So these dependencies are that dependencies which are used or which are bundled in the final build. Dev dependencies, developer, these dependencies are limited to the developer's machine. Dev dependencies. That's what the package.json file is. It says that it's a node project. Hello React. Readme.md, whenever you push this guy on the Git, this would be popped up in the beginning. When you click on the repository, you will see this thing. Wit config, this is the configuration file for the wit. Right? You don't need to worry about that thing. Package.lock, it keeps the track of the dependencies that we have seen. Index.html, so this is the starting point where you can say script type module main.jsx, this file main.jsx. Now you will talk about, you will ask me question, what is this JSX? What is this JSX? You will get to know tomorrow. What is this JSX? Hello?
Okay.
You'll get to know why the extensions are here like JSX and not plain JS. You'll get to know that thing tomorrow. Now we have seen index.html is the beginning, starting point of your application. Index.js is what? Starting point of your application. From here, your application will start actually. Getting my point? Now there is something called as ESLint. It will check the grammar of your grammar of your JavaScript. Ignore the patterns dist, which means says that don't check anything inside dist folder and .eslint CJS file. So from where you are going to check the grammar, these are some plugins they have named. So from this, I'm going to check the grammar. So this is the browser environment, ES 2020. This is the version of the JavaScript, right? Rules, no target blank. So this file checks what? It is the configuration. When you say lint, ES lint, JavaScript lint, which means that it will check the grammar of the JavaScript. That is nothing but the ESLint is. Okay, then there is one more folder, node modules. You know what is the node modules. So whatever dependencies and the dev dependencies you have written, that would be pulled from the npm.js and kept under this node.js, node modules folder. Okay, then you have source. Actual source of your project will reside inside this source directory. Then you have something called as public. Public things like images and other things would be kept under the public directory. Whenever we would be understanding a full website, at that time you will exactly get to know what do you mean by this public folder. So images and other things need to be used. Images and other things need to be used from the public folder. Getting my point? Hello? Now, this is little bit about the project structure. You will understand you will get familiar with the project structure day by day. It is not a one-day job, right? Slowly, you will get familiar with the project structure. So this is the place where you will spend most of the time in this folder, in src folder. So main.jsx, this is the root of your React project. What is this? We will see. App.jsx, so this might be a little confusing to you. Let's delete all the things. Just keep this much. If you go here and see, there is nothing because we have deleted. Now you might get a question. Well, this is the JavaScript. Can you see the file name is JSX? And how is that I'm writing HTML inside JavaScript? Well, you know what do you mean by this export app? What do you mean by this import? We are importing this app.css code. Just remove this code. We don't need right now. And simple CSS is here. So I can say bg.bg tomato, bg tomato. Here we can say background tomato. Okay. And here we can say background. Now see here, I need to apply the class. I need to apply what? Class name. And what is the class name we have written? .bg tomato, which means that bg tomato. Nothing is happening. Let's give width and height. Dot box width 50, width 30%, height 30%. And let's apply the class box. Nothing is happening. Now you are well versed with these things. What exactly happening? You can see bg tomato and width. Can you tell me what is happening here? So this is the BG tomato 0 by 0. If you see BG tomato width and height is 0 by 0, 30%. Let's give in a pixel 300 px for now. 300 px. Can you see? Now you can see, which means that height and width to the parent is missing, right? Hello? Height and width of the parent is missing. If you go to the index dot, see, you are not writing anything in index.html. You are writing everything in something called as this. Well, delete this also. Okay. Let's remove the CSS as well. And if you remove this thing and just attach export, we have done this export functionality. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right? When you say export from this file, you are exporting something. And in that case, if you are removing the default keyword, you need to write the brackets. You need to write what? Brackets. Now CSS file also I have deleted. Let's delete this CSS also. Index.css. See here. Just delete this index.css also. Just main.jsx. Remove it. And in here, now if you see, this is the plain function. This is what? A plain JavaScript function. If you see this, it's a plain JavaScript function which is returning something called as div, which is returning what? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Which is returning something called as div. What is this? This is something new to you, correct? And this is the React is. This is something new to you. Function can return integer, function can return boolean, that is okay. But here, function is returning the HTML. Function is returning what? HTML. And export keyword means what? I want to export this from this file and I want to import it in some other file. See here, you have imported this app.jsx over here. You have imported that app.jsx over here. So this is the app.jsx. You have exported from here. We have seen this export import concept and imported over here. Now question is that how come this is possible? How come one function can return another function? Right? I will keep more clean. So if you wanna just simplify this function, you can say const div is equals to, this is the document.getElement by id. There is one HTML. If you see here in the index.html, there is one div, and inside this div all the things are getting loaded. So you are importing that over here, div, and I'm saying create document.getElement by id. You have got that over here. You have passed that div over here and render. Now what you are saying here, a simple thing. So this app is something you have written, but see again a question, how come I write tag inside JavaScript? That is my question. How come I write tag inside this h1? Here we can say hey hi, and can you see hey hi is there? Now look at the architecture. Look at the architecture. There is an index.html. Look at the architecture. There is an index.html. And in the index.html, you have loaded main.jsx. What is the main.jsx? This file is main.jsx. Inside main.jsx, what you are doing? It is a find view by id. You are selecting this div. You are selecting this div, and that div you are passing to some render method. React dom dot create root inside this page division, which means that this page division, create react root inside this page division, and render. What render? This something called as react component. Can you see here? Here you have written this app. It's a function. It's a normal function, export function app, which is returning something called as string, which is returning something called as what? HTML string. And because of that, you can see this hey hi h1. Just try to understand what is the important, how it is going to start. First, index.html would be getting loaded. From the index.html, this main JSX would be getting loaded. This is the main JSX. What is this main JSX? It is just pointing to this div id root. It is pointing to this document.getElement by id. Can you see? You got that over here. And then react dom dot create root div. React dom dot. So this is some React's method which says that kindly consider this div as a root of React application, and in the beginning render this component. So technically you don't need this app.jsx also. Technically you don't, just delete this file. You don't need it. So remove the import because we have deleted the file, and straight away here you can write h1 hey hi. That is also okay. Can you see? Hey hi. Which means that your whole React is nothing but this main.jsx. So inside this div, can you see? Inside this div, you are loading this h1. You can load anything inside this div. So for your better understanding purpose, I will copy whole things over here, or I will copy this script type module, remove it, and here we can write the script directly. In HTML we can write the script, right? That's what we have seen. In the JavaScript we have written a lot of scripts. In HTML we have written a lot of scripts. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, got it. We need to change some configuration, but just remove it. But let's keep it as it is. So you know that we can point this JS, we can point this to this file, right? Which means that instead of writing script straight away in this page, I have written over here. Now if you check this file, now I have deleted all the things. What it is having? Only main.js. Even this assets also we can delete. We don't need it right now. So what is remaining? Git ignore has nothing to do with the React. This ESLint RC has nothing to do with the React. It's just a grammar. So two important files you have, main.jsx and index.html. So inside this index.html, this script is loaded, and this script is all about React. So this div, document.getElement by id, this div, and inside this div, so you are saying that, hey React, inside this div, kindly add this HTML. For understanding purpose, I can hit enter over here. I can hit enter over here like this. So here you are saying that, hey React, kindly load this HTML. Whatever HTML you want to write over here, you can write it. You can write style also here, style. And here you can say background or border colon 1px solid red. If you observe carefully, 1px solid red. If you observe carefully, okay, just a minute, style, and I will write just brackets over here. Now what is this bracket means, you will get to know afterwards. Border 1px solid red. Okay, any error, just open the inspector console. Yeah, see here. Now style prop expects properties. Okay, now just have one more. Just write it in a single quote. There are some limitations, not limitations actually. I know what is happening exactly. So let's have one variable const st, and to this st let's assign this border 1px solid red, and instead of this guy whole writing here, I can just say st. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. Now border, here we can say 1px solid red. Just remove this, and if you see the style over here, what do you mean by these two brackets, we will see tomorrow. What do you mean by these two brackets? So see, you can do whatever we have studied so far, all that things we can do over here. So what do you mean by these two brackets, and inside that border colon this value, and it is printing this. So if you see, either you can write this HTML in this page, or you can write it in another page. Here you can write, or simply here also you can write. Here also you can write function say simple, right? And the simple function, this can be lambda const fn, or simple is equals to, this can be a lambda, and that lambda is returning this h1, that is also okay. And here instead of writing whole big HTML over here, you can simply say simple, that is also okay. Okay, just move this to here. Can you see? Hey, hi. So you have first initialized, so you can write straight away this into here, or you can create some function like this lambda. This can be a traditional function also. So we can say const normal, a normal function normal, and from the normal function we can return this thing, that is also okay. From the normal function you can return normal. It's HTML only. Instead, you direct write HTML over here, you can create a function like this. Or you can create function in separate file as we have discussed. So this is about it's not a React. I didn't explain anything about the React, but it is simple few things that I wanted to show you. Okay. The rest of the things we can do later on. Yeah. Thank you.